What up, what up? Back again. Today we're playing, you already know, actually, you read the title, you saw the thumbnail, 2.1 Ronin Cycle. I just recorded a video that I lost 4 straight games, so I wasn't dressed or anything. I just got up, so I decided that surely was the issue. So I put myself together and I made this deck, and hopefully we're gonna earn those trophies back. But yeah, off to a decent start here, because that is just going to funnel into my tombstone, and those bats will be able to eat him alive. He's going to mirror that for some strange reason. Is this guy, what is this kid doing, actually? Because if he's doing the same thing I'm doing, then this will truly be a battle of skill. So I'm interested to see, if he's going to go for a pump, then I'm just going to do this, because I really don't see what he's going to do here. I'm actually the best in the entire game. Wow. I didn't need a snowball there, but that's okay. And that is already his tower. So, okay, this is off to a pretty decent start. Yeah, I'm about to go to the gym, so hopefully we can just get a couple, maybe 2 or 3 quick wins, and then I can dip. But yeah, well, now that I got his tower, I'm just gonna sort of chill, just cycle my skeletons in the back, get that Evo, cycling and whatnot. Now I don't really know what to do. I'm just gonna bats, probably left side. But yeah, I wanted to talk about, though, today, something that is not Clash Royale related. So if you are somebody that has, a brain of a 4-year-old and only thinks about Clash Royale, this is your official warning that I'm not just going to spam sound effects and play Clash strictly the entire time. Well, I will be playing Clash, but there's some deeper discussion going on here. But it's in relation to, it's not necessarily about making videos, only. It can be applied to other things too, but it's about oh, nice. We'll take that. But sort of just being yourself. And also, okay, pause though. Ronin is actually just swallowing this guy's entire push. But being yourself and sort of, finding your crowd in whatever, you do, which is either, it could be work, school, or just being alive and living in a place where other humans also live and having to interact with them, you know what I mean? It can be kind of tricky to sort of figure out, who you really are to yourself, because at least for me, I am not that different. I'm the same person, but I will act a little bit differently around, different friend groups and whatever, making different jokes around different people and all that type of stuff. I feel like a lot of people do that. But then it sort of, is okay, well, if you're doing that, all the time with different people, right? You're being different around different people, then how do you, lucky drop? All right, absolutely nothing. Then how do you know what is you? You know what I mean? What is you truly? Because if you're different all the time, there's no way to actually know. So, and that is an interesting question to me, because, I make videos where, I don't know the type of, on the internet, there's every different type of person that you could possibly think of that has access to this video right here, right? And so I have to try, for my sake and growing my channel, to appeal to 8 billion people, right? And obviously 8 billion people are not on YouTube. But try to appeal to, every type of person I can, right? And that is, please jump on the Sparky. It didn't. And that is a little bit tricky sometimes, right? Because it's how do you know who you should be appealing to? And my advice generally is just sort of be yourself, and you will find your crowd, and your crowd will find you, in life and YouTube, but in life in general, right? Just and my advice for that, it is, because again, it is hard, like I already said, to sort of know what that is, because you might think you're the funny guy, or you're the jock or whatever, those videos where it's the different types of people. I don't even know. It's different types of people meeting the president, or stealing your girl or something, and it's this same dude, and I don't know, whatever. But I think who you really are is, it is up to you. You can be anybody you want, but also there's some parts of you that you can't help but change because that's just who you are. And an example of that would be like, you know, you can be funny, serious, you know, that different type of stuff. But also, I did not need to Evo Skeletons, but also like, at the end of the day, if you are a kind person, you're always going to be nice, right? Like, you're always going to care for others if that's the type of person you are, or you're always going to, you know, put yourself before others if you're that type of person. I don't know, but that's usually less favorable, or like typically, you know, flexed about if you're like kind of like an asshole. But it is really up to you in terms of the micro stuff, right? Or more the macro, I think, where it's like, who are you perceived as to others? Like, oh, this is my friend that I can always rely on for this, or, you know, he'll always do this for me, he'll always be ready to, you know, something. I don't know, but how in the world did that dash? I have to get this off my tower right now. But like, for me, right, like, I make videos. This is who I am, right? I try as much as I can. My mom's home at 2:30. To isolate myself from the fact that I'm trying to perform and grow this channel, and just be like, how can I just, because I talk to myself, I'm not gonna lie, I talk to myself quite a bit. I don't know what's a normal amount, but if I'm alone in my house, I will just like be sort of just talking and just, you know, like thinking out loud about things that I am thinking about, right? But I have to do this, by the way. I really have no choice. You know what? This might not be bad. But like, I try as much as possible to be like, all right, how did that just work? I really just beat this guy by doing that. All right, well, somehow this is working. But it's like, don't imagine that I am, you know, talking to a camera, trying to appeal to, you know, 8 billion archetypes of human, right? And trying to, you know, fit in and, you know, be liked by a ton of different people with different, you know, opinions and different styles of humor and whatnot. I just try and be like, I'm here, sitting in front of okay, would have liked that Electro Spirit to be in the other lane, but it's fine. That actually doesn't get hits anyway. You know, I'm here, I'm sitting in front of a computer, it's just me. I'm just speaking how I normally would, and, you know, regardless, you know, somebody's gonna watch, and because that's what it is at the end of the day. And again, this can be transferred into real life too. If you truly are just yourself and you're not trying to impress anybody, you're gonna jeez, voice crack, but I guarantee you're gonna stumble across people that are exactly like you, and that think you are the funniest person or the nicest person or the most relatable person that they have ever met. And probably, I hope people are still watching at this point. Well, somebody is, but I hope a decent amount of people are still watching. If you're still watching now, you're probably like, wow, this guy thinks like me, or this guy thinks not like me, but you're an open-minded person, and you're like, this is an interesting opinion on, you know, what I'm talking about. And like, that sort of is thought-provoking to you, you know? And that is an interesting thought, right? Because it's like, I can perform all I want, but at the end of the day, who I am, some people find interesting out there. And if I market myself well with thumbnails and whatnot, then it's easier for those people to find me, right? And relate to me and watch my content and, you know, support me as well in this content journey, so I can reach more people. Because you wouldn't be seeing this video if somebody before you didn't see this video. And I'll let you in on a little secret. If they didn't like, comment, and sub, you probably wouldn't be seeing this video, because that is what really pushes this out there. So, not trying to engagement bait, but if you do like this and you're like, you know, more people in the world need to think like this, or even not that, even if you're like, more people in the world just need to hear this in general, just so they can benefit in their life from, you know, having this knowledge, do that, because I can't just spawn this on people's feeds. I have to actually, you know, make thumbnails and try and stuff. But okay, I did not mean to snowball that. But all right, we are losing this game here currently. That should be fine though, because I will hopefully just do what I did last game and just randomly mirror Ronin at the bridge, and it'll just like work. But I kind of want to get an ability down here. I'm not going to be able to afford it though. Yeah, in time. Okay. But like, you know, you don't gotta be the clown or the, you know, or the anything. It doesn't have to be a clown, but it's like, you don't have to be somebody you're not to try and fit in, because if you do, here's some ball knowledge. If you have to not be yourself to fit in with people, those people are not the people that you want to be hanging around. I'm just letting you know this now. That's some ball for you it is truthfully, like, it is knowledge that is worth having. Thank God that wasn't a nice spirit, because otherwise, I would have liked for that to die. But you know what? I think I'm gonna mirror snowball here, because I want that thing to live, because that is my chance at tower damage here. Yeah. Okay. So that's big. Another hit there is actually huge. All right. All right. We're just gonna go for this to tank those spirits, and then. Okay. Yo. Hello. Okay. This is fine. This is unironically okay. I just need to get some spirits down here. Ooh, that's huge, actually. That just happened the way that happened. Okay, well, let me lock in here, actually, for just a split second, because this is actually getting a little bit too close here. He's sort of starting to actually have a push. All right, and then it's all annihilated. There we go. Okay, we should be fine here. Hopefully. Hopefully. Hopefully, hopefully, hopefully. Yo, hello? Okay. Alright, I gotta actually lock in. This is not going good anymore. I'm up. There's 10 seconds left. I need to mirror snowball in his tower, don't I? I do. And I did. And I'm hopefully gonna win because of that. Yes! Okay. Come on, bro. I am so dialed. Alright, sorry. I actually had to stop the yap for a second there and lock in. But you know what? And let me this might be a deep cut for some of you. I also here's some niche lore here. I checked my viewer, like, you know, audience today, and on one of my videos that I have like 1,000 views, one of my better videos, I'm pretty sure, and this might have changed. He didn't need to do that because his tower's level 16, but this might have changed, but I'm pretty sure that my male to female ratio is literally 100 to 0. So there's 0 huz in this. If you're looking for a girlfriend in the comment section, it's not gonna happen. But something that I was about to mention that was related to that was also, don't try and impress girls or boys, which, you know, I'm aware there's literally no girls watching this, but do not try and impress somebody to try and get with them, because, well, not like that, but like, don't try and like play yourself up or, you know, exaggerate anything about yourself, because at the end of the day, if you do that, you're not gonna end up with them. At the end of the day, you're not the same person. If they like you for somebody you're pretending to be, then you're not going to be able to do that for the rest of your life. You're not going to be able to pretend to be somebody else forever. So you have to just be honest. And, you know, maybe you think, you're like, oh, no, that person is really the one who I want, and I know that's the only person I'm ever going to like. It's like, no, that's probably not true. And if it is, that's unfortunate, but God, I like that. It wouldn't have worked anyway. Also, Hog is a little bit annoying here. You wouldn't they wouldn't have liked you for you anyway. So even that thought in the back of your mind should be enough to be like, I should just be myself, because there's gonna be somebody out there. Statistically, with 8 billion people, there's somebody out there that both of you being yourself will perfectly match with, and then you're gonna be like, wow, I was an idiot for trying to pretend to be somebody else for however long you spent doing that, or maybe I saved you from wasting your time doing that and you didn't even bother. But I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying. And I would not have the best advice in that field, considering that experience none, but I am just letting you know that that is something I know for sure. Can this not get a hit? Okay, thank you. Evo Skeletons cook. Alright, dog. What is that? Alright, well, this is fine. I am gonna have to, like, eventually actually hit his tower here. Actually, no, we did. We did a little bit of tower damage. Yeah, alright. I will say this magic archer is a little bit of a nuisance, though, because it's just, like, it's just sort of eating everything alive, and I can't really spell it away, which is unfortunate, but it's fine. I'm gonna have to mirror snowball on that. I really don't want to deal with that. Yo, alright. No, see, because now this is not going good at all. And where in the world did my tombstone go? I lost this game. Whatever. I'm 2-1. I'm aware that's positive 1 game out of the -4 game, or the -5, technically including that win, over the past hour that I've been playing this game, but whatever. Yeah, so, alright, you know, we might close this video out. I appreciate if you're still watching. You know what? It's actually been 16 minutes, or 17 almost. So I probably shouldn't even be playing this game, because this is just gonna take up a ton of storage on my phone. And fingers crossed, if this video just gets banished to the Shadow Realm by my phone because it just decided not to save the screen recording like it does sometimes, that would really be terrible, because I honestly was quite liking this video. I feel like I was, you know, I was not only giving you advice, but I feel like there's a little bit of, you know, sort of relationship building with my audience, not parasocial, like where it's like I actually personally know who you are and what you believe, but it's like I'm letting you know my thoughts on stuff, and you can let me know in the comments what you think. But now you know more about me. You feel like you're like, hey, you know, I actually do know a thing or two about this kid and what he actually, how he actually functions, you know, outside of just being a robot that just is like, oh, I don't actually have a life, but I exist solely to make content that gets like 800 views, and I post daily. But other than that, I just am never seen outside. But in reality, that's not the case. I don't know why I'm getting so many college emails this second. Usually I get them all the time, but I don't really, I don't know. Maybe they're wired into this, and they thought that was the most philosophical thing they've ever heard. I don't know, but yeah, if you're still watching, I'm just going to pop this ability because I'm not really trying that hard and I don't care. But if you are still watching at this point, comment down below your thoughts on... Did I miss that? I did not. Okay. Comment down below your thoughts, because I am curious to know what you guys think of what I was saying. You know, like if that makes sense to you, or if you're just like, all right, no, this kid's kind of an idiot, and that was a little bit just stupid to even bring that up. But I don't think it was, but maybe I'm completely misunderstanding my own audience, and I don't know what you guys are thinking of. Also, hopefully you didn't just, well, if you're still, there's somebody still watching, so thank you. But hopefully most of the people didn't tune out by now because they thought they were getting a hardcore Clash Royale video where I was going over the you know, the nitty gritty of 2.1 Ronin cycle. That was basically just to get you to click on the video. I'm not gonna lie. If you're still watching at this point, you're a real one, and I feel comfortable enough to admit to you that, yeah, that I had no intention of making this a strictly Clash Royale, you know, how to play this crazy deck that I just came up with. This deck is pretty terrible. I am just better than these guys because I didn't really play after they added more arenas, so the skill that the opponents that I'm playing at are not the skill that I am, so I'm able to just squeak out wins playing this goofy deck. But for you, this might not work. Unless you're in the same boat as me, then of course it will work. And in fact, I'm just gonna take this here and boom, just like that. And we're gonna be able to cut this John down to, this is about to be a 20-minute video with the outro. Anyway though, thank you for watching if you're still here. Comment down below your thoughts, like, comment, share, sub as well. make sure you smash that sub button so I can start earning moolah and maybe do this a little more often than I do currently. But I will see you. No. Share with your mom, dad, brother, cat, dog, sister, for some reason I forgot, and then shark as well, your pet shark that you all have. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.